work. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're definitely, yep, definitely making it into something. Into some magic box. We're making it. So, hey, welcome to the After Chat, everybody. This is your opportunity to get your ham radio questions answered live on the YouTubes. We super appreciate you coming out, hanging out with us all. Leave your comments in the chat, but if you can join us on Discord, the link is in the description. Join us there. That way we can hear your made-for-radio voices, and you can ask your questions live, which also helps us because we often have follow-on questions, and chat's just too slow. We need that live update, that live capability. So feel free to join us. We'd appreciate it. And let me see. Yep, audio's still working. Good. This is great. So far, we're good. We'll see. I also checked out Discord, so we should be all right go. All right, back in the hotel room of doom, at least doom for amateur radio operators, because it's a Faraday cage, as we've found out. But we still have the radio connected. We're having no problem with VHF, UHF, but not great on HF. So that's just more reason to get out, explore the space you're in, and do a Parks on the Air. Let's join all of our friends over on the Discord so we can get this party going and started. And here we go.
I mean, Austin's it's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Josh is joining. So
hey, how's it going, everybody? No, it's okay. Are you talking about like Texas, Austin? That Austin?
Yeah.
Just because it's crazy because it's hot, or crazy for ham radio? If it's the former,
crazy real estate prices.
Expensive.
Oh, real? Okay, well that's not going to help us.
We were checking. Same thing is happening in like Door County, in Wisconsin. Like all these people from Chicago are buying it up, and the locals can't even live there anymore. I grew up in Door County, so like yeah.
All right.
It's like the whole coastline is like home.
No, sorry.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to go deep dive real estate costs. Sorry about that. All right.
It's ham radio time.
That's right, at least in the beginning here. So welcome to the After Chat, everybody that's watching us and on Discord. I think everybody's hearing us, should be okay, hopefully. No way. Freaking the WAN show is butting up against my time? How dare they? How dare Linus, you butt up against my live stream slot? You don't know about my ham radio After Chat? Anyway. Shout out to Linus. I hope did the LTT con, did that go off? Did anybody go to? I heard that there was some ham radio guys going to that, so I hope it was a good time. But anyway, this is the After Chat. This is our opportunity to answer you, dear viewer, your ham radio questions, because it's not always the easiest hobby to get started in. We expect that. We actually want it to stay technical. We want it to stay difficult. I know that sounds bad. You might be like, why would you want it to stay difficult? Well, because it helps you learn difficult things. It helps you learn about how these crazy radios work and all this stuff that exists in your world that all runs off of radios for moving data or just checking in to see how things are going. So anyway, love it if we could get a moment here. Big shout out to everybody who is watching, but we want to talk to people who are new here for the first time. Looks like I've got the wrong chat going too, so hold on one second while I pop out this chat. There we go. All right, hold on one second, because we did get a super chat. I want to hit that up front if I can here. So thank you for the super chat, Mr. Bill Porter, for all the trouble I have caused. What trouble did you cause? I don't think you caused any trouble. Thank you for that. Let me grab the overlay here so I can... That was weird. I set this all up beforehand, but it didn't pop up. So let's try that again. Clicky the thing. There it is. Whoop, there it is. For all the trouble I've caused. What trouble did you cause, Bill? Let me know in the chat. I want to know. But I don't know. You seem like a cool guy. I don't have any complaints. So anyway, thanks for that. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. Let's go back to the Discord though. This is a great time if you're here in the Discord for the first time. We would like to take a minute, welcome you, say thanks for joining us, and if you have a first-timer question or just any comment you want to make, now would be a great time to ask it. So if there's anybody here for the first time, come forward now, please.
What counts as first time?
First time in the Discord after chat. Not new to the Discord necessarily, but first time in the Discord after chat.
Okay, yeah, I count as that.
Okay.
I just got my license like a week ago, and I haven't actually used ham radio yet.
Ah, all right. Well, first, thank you for joining us on the Discord, and welcome to Amateur Radio. Do you have a question or anything that's keeping you up at night?
Well, sure. Let's say I wanted a dual band antenna that's going to give me decent performance, but be relatively cheap. There's so many different kinds of antennas, and I don't even know where to start. I have space vertically and horizontally, but I just don't know where to begin.
Okay. I'm assuming when you say dual band, you mean VHF, UHF, 2 meter, 70 centimeter. And are we talking about for a mobile, at home? Is this for a car? What are we talking about?
It'd definitely be under 50 watts, but it would be at home.
At home, okay. Yeah. So what I like, Diamond and why can't I think of the other? Comet, Diamond and Comet, and even MFJ. You can spend anywhere from like $50 all the way up to like $200 with them. Obviously, if they're longer, they're going to be a little bit more effective. They've got 3 little spikes at the bottom. You kind of screw it into the side of your home on the eaves. They work fantastic. I have had really good results with them. In fact, I am a bit outgunned here with my stream setup, but if you give me a minute, I will pull up one of them. Comet base station dual band antenna. I do like Comet personally, just, you know, from the time that I've gotten to work with them. Good folks over at Comet, but I've got really nothing against Diamond and even MFJ. But yeah, so you're looking at the GP1 all the way up to the GP3 or GP6. The prices go pretty exponentially up. Exponentially is the wrong term. It's not exponentially at all. It's linear. But if you pull them up, so here's DX Engineering's website. It was just the first one that came up. It's about a 4.2 foot antenna. It kind of looks like a PVC pipe. It's not PVC pipe though, and it's got 3 metal stingers at the bottom. You can mount it on, like I said, on the side of your roof. Just go up to the highest point, the apex of the roof, mount that, just screw that sucker right into the wood. $80, not bad, works really well. And if you go with the next one, which is basically twice the length, that's even better. And yeah, that'll do great for you. It'll do fantastic. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. I'm fetching another beer. What is this? Ooh. All right. So we're going with the good beer Bud Light special, the Almanac Love with the rainbow. But this is an IPA, so that's why I'm drinking it. I heard Bud Light is laying people off. Did anybody else hear that? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, they are.
All right.
Hey,
Who else?
Josh, I got a comment on that comment.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I've got one of those. I've got it up in the air about 10 feet, and I'm hitting a repeater that's about 35 miles from me as the crow flies.
Excellent. I love it. There is somebody fighting or something. They're screaming down there.
Are you sure that's what it is?
There's people yelling down. I'm on the 14th floor, and I can hear them all the way up here. What the hell is going on down there? All right. Who else is in the chat?
San Francisco.
So I gotta tell you what. So let me first get that out of the way. My wife and I had a long conversation about that last night. San Francisco is nicer than Los Angeles. So if you're talking like downtown LA proper, that's a hellhole in comparison to San Francisco. The tourist areas in San Francisco are pretty nice. There are homeless people, that's true. But to be honest, like, that it's like, if I were to go to, I'd rather come to San Francisco in almost any situation than go to downtown Los Angeles. absolute trash out there. So I'm not selling California any harder than I normally do. Don't worry, but this place is not that bad. It's really not that bad, particularly where we're at, Union Square. Lots of places to go walk around. You can get down to Golden Gate, Fisherman's Wharf, go up to Chinatown. It's not a problem. It's really not that big a deal. But I'm sure there are outliers. There've probably been people who had major problems, but I've not experienced anything out of the ordinary that I wouldn't normally expect. But all right, back to ham radio. Who else is in the chat that would like to say hi or ask a question? Come now. First timers? No first timers? That's fine. To be honest, I'm on borrowed time anyway right now. When the family gets here, I got to hop off. So we can just open things up and have a bit of fun. Okay. Any questions? Any ham radio comments? Let's take them. I think I saw Ed keying up there. Go for it, Ed.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Josh, quick question for you. It's like when I sent the APRS message to you, did it ping you a couple extra times because I'm using APRS Droid?
Yeah, APRS will attempt the message 3-ish times or more, and that's actually by design, because if you think about APRS, it all happens on one frequency, right? And there are collisions on that frequency. So if you have two radios, which would be my two beer cans here, if this radio and this radio are transmitting at almost the same time, they could have collisions, literally like packet collisions like you would experience on the internet. Well, how do you get around that? You just send multiple times, and one of them's bound to get through. And that's literally how APRS avoids collisions. It's just send it more, send it again, do it again. It's the brute force option for getting over that.
Very cool. Just wanted to, I never knew that. So cool. Very good. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Hey, there was a comment from, what's going on?
I got a question.
No, that's not popping up. Go ahead, question. Yeah, I'll take it, and then I'll try and get my pop-up working here again, because I've gotten some comments. Go ahead.
Okay. So I got a Chameleon Incom 3 base, and had it set up with pulleys and everything. Well, one end of it, towards the far end of it, got hung up in the pulley, and it snapped right there.
Oh.
I spliced it back together, and it's about, I guess, about 10 foot of it, 7 to 10 foot of it was, snapped off of it. I spliced it back together. Now I clamped it together with like those crimp things, but I did a twist through it and like braided it, and then I clamped it down. Should I have soldered that, or does it really matter?
Well, you tell me. If the antenna is working, then one, it's at least structurally to the point that it's an antenna again. The problem with tearing it, right, or snapping it off, is it's never really going to be as strong again, and solder is not actually made to really hold that well. You can do things to strengthen it, or add some kind of strain relief or whatnot to it, but yeah, you might be okay. Just soldering it's probably okay. It's stranded, right? It's not a solid core.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I braided it, and then I put the crimpers on it.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, it should be fine. Totally fine. If it's working, if it's being an antenna again, then yeah, you should be fine.
Okay, yeah, because whenever it did the
Oh, we lost you.
okay. Look, stupid push to talk. Yeah, so I noticed one SW. It's now at 1.7 to 1 on 80 meters instead of 1.6. That's about the worst that happened.
Okay. Well, if it's working, it's working. Good. That'll do.
I have a question, if I can, about the X50 we were talking about, or the diamond antenna we were talking about a little bit before.
Sure, go for it.
Has anyone ever? I have the tri-bander up when I think I first got my 9700. So I had that up, but I actually do have the X50, the smaller one. Has anyone ever found a way to order the piece that goes around the bottom that goes up over the SO239 and that you use to mount. I've never found. I've looked on Diamond's site to see if I can order just that piece. Has that anyone ever found a way to get that a replacement part from Diamond?
I have not. Anybody else?
I didn't even know they existed.
I run Ed Fong, so.
Does anybody else have that antenna? Well, what is it? Now I want to look this up because
this would apply to any of the Diamonds. It's a little. It's like a little metal sleeve that's about maybe a foot long, and it goes around the bottom of the antenna, and that's what you use to mount it to.
I know what you're talking. Okay.
It's a little piece at the bottom, and I hate to buy a whole new antenna just to get that piece, but I've never been able to find on Diamond's website or RF Parts or anyone a way to order just that.
Comment.
I see what you. Go ahead. I think that was Mike. Was that Mike?
There's an Italian company that do make that an extension piece specifically for that.
But do you have to have the original piece to extend it?
No, it literally goes in where the other one did, but it is only 1.25 pipe.
Just for everybody that's watching at home, let me see. Am I showing the image? Yeah. So the way the antenna works is you get this bracket at the bottom, and it's got 3 threaded screw holes, and then it's got the SO239 for your coax. And then around that, so you fit the coax. There's this metal tube. It's like yay long. You feed the coax through the metal tube. It goes into the antenna. You screw that off, weather treat it, make sure it's sealed. And then you take this tube up, and there's a set screw that goes in the side of it. And then that tube is what you mount to this bracket that's showing here on this website. That tube is what this individual is talking about. Okay, so I'm following now. Hopefully everybody else is in the chat too.
It's just 1.25 aluminium tube. Sometimes the vacuum cleaners use that size, but it should readily be available at any good aluminium supplier. And then you just line up the hole and drill in the appropriate place.
Yeah, I like Mike's idea. It's probably aluminum round stock that you can probably find.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's good advice. I'll check. We have a place, Arlo Metals here. They usually have a lot of different stuff, so I'll check it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Can by chance you take the antenna in and have them match a piece up to it?
I actually have a couple of them that are down. I have like 3 of those antennas, and one's. I have one that's. I have 2 antennas and 1 pipe. So I can take the other one in and say, hey, do you have something like this, and I can just drill the holes and that's also where you mount the the back of the U-bolts.
Yeah.
So that way I can resurrect that one because it's I'd give it away to somebody, but if somebody said, hey, I need one for home to use, locals, I tend to give. I started when I was 15 and relied upon the kindness of other hams to get my equipment. So I like to have a bit of a stash to do that as well. And I hate to throw away the antenna. So if I can resurrect one, that would help a lot. So I'll look at the local metal supplier. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, I would just take it in and say, give me a piece of metal about yay long that fits this thing, and then you might even have them drill the set hole, but you can do that. That's pretty easy. So yeah, Bill came back with, yeah, no problem. I hope that helped. So Bill Porter came back and he kind of gave some context to his super chat earlier. And by the way, you don't have to tip me to answer your questions. I'm here to just answer your questions, but the tips are appreciated. I do like that. Thanks so much. Said, the reason I have bugged you so much about DMR is the county I live in only has 27 repeaters. That's actually a lot for a county. I guess it depends on how big your county is. 6 of them are DMR. The other digitals are like 1 here and 2 there, and they are too far away. And it says continued. Here's the continuation. I have looked at the Anytones because of this. My understanding is that they can buy, or that you can buy a hotspot that will talk to the other digital channels. So yeah, that is totally true. You can get a hotspot that will take DMR and go into Yaesu System Fusion. I think they've cracked the nut on most of them. I don't know that you can go DMR to D-Star yet. You likely can. Somebody will correct me in the chat or somebody will correct me on Discord. But yeah, the hotspot, and let's make sure everybody understands what a hotspot is. So a hotspot is a little bit smaller than this mouse here. It is a device that takes RF in and can send RF out, but it also has internet, usually in the form of Wi-Fi. And it will take your RF and spit it out onto the internet for whatever talk group you want to talk on. That could be DMR or Yaesu System Fusion or D-Star, whatever. So for instance, if you go to hrcc.link, those are all of our talk groups on the Ham Radio Crash Course, right? And so that could be any of the major digital modes. You don't need a hotspot to get onto any of the digital modes, but at the same time, when you use somebody else's repeater to use digital modes, you're generally going to have to do the digital mode the way they want it done. They may not want you to get onto the HRCC digital talk groups that exist. And if that's the case, then it's like, okay, well then, yeah, you kind of have to look at hotspots at that point. So there you go. Does that help?
Yeah, the open spots are the ones that can do DMR to D-Star or D-Star to DMR. I don't think Pi-Star can do it.
You're kind of low today, Don, in my ears.
I turned it down last week because there was some issues with the clipping, but I can turn it back up.
I got you like 135% on Discord, and it's still kind of low. All right.
Don, my Pi-Star.
Go ahead.
My Pi-Star does cross mode, no problem.
It'll do DMR to D-Star? That was always the last bastion.
I don't know about D-Star because I'm going to get hate for this one. I don't use Dorkstar.
Whoa. Okay. I don't use really any of them. Yeah. I'm not the hugest fan of digital voice modes. I really like to use analog. I love Simplex. I love 146.520. And then I just try and get on HF. If you can swing it though, like if you got the scratch, I highly recommend the Open Spot. The Open Spot 4, I'm not affiliated with them at all. I really like that device. It is a really, really, really nice device. They did a fantastic job. Oh, see, Don just said the Open Spots can do DMR to D-Star and vice versa. Yeah, they're very good. But they're very expensive. They definitely like their product that they sell.
Well, they are until you start looking at the what is it, the Chili Spot and the other ones that, like, there's some people that produce Pi-Star hotspots that go almost $300, $400.
Yeah, and I don't think that any of them do integration as well as OpenSpot has done. I can control the OpenSpot from my phone. I could use my phone on the hotspot if I wanted to. There are plenty of devices that tick all the boxes as far as the radios that they'll operate with, but the OpenSpot does it in the most refined and integrated way possible, which is, I'm always looking for that.
Yeah, well, forgive me for those that do, but the ones that you're paying that much money for are still just running stock Pi-Star. They haven't done anything to the software.
Yeah.
And so you're just getting a $400, $50 hotspot.
Yeah.
And I don't quite understand that, but
it is what it is. So, no.
Yeah, I'd much rather do All-Star myself.
All-Star's good. All-Star sounds really good, too. That's probably the best part about All-Star is it sounds fantastic as far as digital modes go.
Yeah, and it gets you into the repeater that's a regular repeater, for which when you don't need All-Star, like it's in your area, you don't need All-Star, so you really don't need the extra net, net part of it.
Right. Radio's still up and running. That repeater's a winner. I hear lots of people kerchunking. That's Josh, how you know it's a good one.
I was actually surprised you could get into that. As I said, that's over on Mount Vaca, and yes, it's high level. Yes, it's pretty well coverage, but San Francisco can be hit and miss. So I think those 14 stories that you have are helping you quite a bit. But that's one of the better repeaters that's left here in the Bay Area at this time on 2 meters.
So I think though, like if I'm understanding my geography correctly, I'm facing north by northwest. Mount Vaca is east, is it not?
It's northeast of Yeah, it's east northeast of you and Union Square, but it still has a pretty wide. I've been up to that repeater site because actually that's where, if you look at my YouTube channel,
Mhm.
the soda activations I've done, and when I talked to Japan, I was right next door to that repeater site. So it has a pretty good view of the whole Bay Area, including San Francisco,
So then,
when you're in the right spot.
I wanna explain why this is working. So let me show you why this is working. So here's the radio, right? And you've already seen the Ed Fong. This is why it's working. Can anyone tell me why it's working just from this view right here?
Not seeing anything. Okay, you just saw the radio.
Yeah.
No,
Why is it working?
So we haven't caught up with you yet.
Yeah. Well, when you guys catch up, you tell me why it's working. Just from
Let
looking
me
at
go to the big screen to look at yours.
I'm reflecting it off of that building in front of me. That's why I'm hitting it. That's why
especially that little rounded part at the top, right?
Yeah, that rounded top is supported by one I-beam that's just jutting through the middle like that. That is wild. That construction, I saw that and I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? What is even up there? But yeah, so that's yeah, right. It's an L-shaped reflector. So I'm thinking about hooking up my my Pico APRS again, and then looking for WinLink nodes, packet nodes that are off to the east of me that I can reflect into, northeast, and reflect into them using this.
Mm-hmm.
Because that repeater, again, Vacaville is not close. Like that's what would you say, 30 miles away from where I'm at right now, about?
About, yeah.
So that's 5 watts, you know, my little, here's my little icon, doing 5 watts, shooting my RF into that building, and I'm bouncing out 30 miles east. So in some senses, HF totally not doable in the building here, but I'm using the buildings to my advantage to bounce RF. That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
As I was mentioning earlier in the Discord before you came in, that 810 AM station I suggested, that's like a 5 or 10,000 kW station right there at Sutro Tower. So you should have had better than S2, even with a compromised setup. So that's saying something about the hotel you're in.
Mm-hmm. Dennis the man, 86DM is in the chat. Yes, I am in Union Square in San Francisco, and I'm going to do an attempt to activate Angel Island tomorrow. So Dennis, I know you, I think you're outside of Sacramento, so that's a bit of a drive for you. But if anybody wants to join me, I'm going to try and get on the island around 10 a.m. tomorrow and get up on the air. And for those that did not really watch the live stream, and even if you did, I'm still going to hit it again. I am sporting and rocking the new Chameleon vertical, all aluminum, multi-band, up to 40 meters, super packable, more packable than a Wolf River vertical. So that's the antenna that I'll be dragging out. So I'm excited to get that out there and try it out. Real excited.
When is that available?
Soon. Soon is what I was told. Very soon.
Well, that looks exactly like that Grable antenna.
The which one?
Grable. The one that's made in Taiwan.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. The difference is this is a bit bigger. It's a bit bigger, and the whip is much nicer. And the aluminum body is way better too on the Chameleon.
But is the tripod better?
I'm using the same tripod as the So
no, those are good tripods. Really good.
It is. I really do like it. Now, they made the antenna first, and so Chameleon already has the clamping, you know, like the claw clamp mount, and they have the C clamp mount. I don't have the claw clamp one. I really do want one of those. I have the C clamp, but the problem with the C clamp is it really wants to be like on a picnic table, something that has like a flat edge that you can tie off on. The clamps are good on bar, like a balcony. And so I thought I was going to have a balcony. Leia made me think that I might have a balcony when I was out here, so that's why I packed the way I did, and I don't have a balcony. So.
And so the $12 vice grip mount's not going with you today?
It didn't, because it's not wide enough, and I love my folks at HRO Anaheim. I went into HRO and they're like, "Oh, we just got 2 vice grips, Josh. We knew you've been waiting on one of those. You know, we got it. Here we'll go get it." And the manager's like, "Oh no, I bought that and took that home yesterday. I'm sorry, Josh. We don't have that." And I'm like, "Oh, you got me." It was pretty good.
Yeah, I know all the guys up here in Plano.
Oh, well, I mean, there's a lot of guys who make those vice grip jobbers, and to be honest, for $12 to $20, it's a pretty good mount. It really is. They're very usable.
Well, be careful with the $12 one. Mine came in broken.
Oh well, yeah. Okay, don't get a broken one. Send that back.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, they look pretty cool.
Hey, what's up? Wild Cascadia Radio used to skate down in Chinatown. As being a poser skater kid my entire life, I always kind of have an eye out for where they have grind blocks and all that stuff, and there's some pretty interesting stuff that's still not blocked up in Chinatown even today.
I have
Porter,
a mount.
Oh, I'll come back to you 1 second, Don. Bill Porter asks, is it worth buying the code plugs from Anytone? I don't believe it's worth buying the code plugs from anyone, to be honest. Anytone provides their programming software. It's not, I won't say it's the most approachable software ever, but you can figure it out. And there's plenty of YouTube videos that explain how to do it. And you can do it. You can do it on your own. Just take your time. What I would recommend you do is you find a repeater group in your area that has a code plug. They likely will have them for the Anytone radios. Download that code plug and then modify that. Learn by modifying a code plug that already exists. Don't spend money to pay somebody. Yeah.
I second that. Definitely don't spend money to pay somebody to, like, not a company, but just anyone, to get a code plug done. Find one from a club that's already done, for sure.
I will say a big shout out to SF Chinatown, dude. I was everywhere I was walking. I'm like, that's from Big Trouble in Little China. That's from Big Trouble in Little China. I was shooting all kinds of video of different spots. Like I found the alleyway that Jack Burton rides into right before the big fight happens in the alleyway. The fight happened in a set, but the turnoff he does is still there. I mean, obviously it's still there, but I shot that whole thing, the archway, the dragon archway, all that stuff. Oh, so I love that movie. It's my second favorite Carpenter movie. My first being The Thing, but absolutely loved it. I had so much fun. All right, Don, go for it, man.
So I have this is a GMRS question. I have a KG1000 radio in the car, and I need a mount for the head. And the back of the head does not have a screw like the or a place to screw something in like the FTM 400 does. So I'm like, okay, well, where do you get a mount that? And I guess it would be one that would clamp over the thing like you do cell phones. But I hate those ones that are spring loaded because they always seem too tight to me. But anyway, I don't know what options there are for a radio or a radio head that does not have the screw hole in it.
What's the radio again?
KG1000. It's a Wouxun KG1000. It's a 50 watt. It's the actual probably best 50 watt GMRS mobile that you can get.
Come on, where is it? You gonna show it to me? There it is. Oh, okay. This. Let's see. Do we have other pictures?
They make a 2-meter version of that too.
Oh, it's got the tilty head. The head's already tilted up. It's factory
Well,
tilted.
yeah. When you take that, there's a little plastic part that tilts it, but
yeah.
I think like the 500 has that too.
Yeah, except it's pivotable in the head. All right, let's see if I can get. Can I get a zoomed in? Can I get a zoom? There we go. We got a zoom. So you're saying there's nothing on the back? There's no screw holes or anything?
No, it's just it's almost an empty piece of plastic back there. So there's literally nothing back there.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? How's it going?
Good, man. Hold on 1 second. We'll say hi to newcomers in a second. You know what I would do?
You have to do the friction.
You know what I would
What's
do?
that?
I'd get double-sided tape or 2 of those Velcro strips, those 3M Velcro strips, and do it that way.
Yeah, then the issue becomes where do you tape it? What do you tape it to?
Some blank spot on the dash.
not in the Kia.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean that's what I did in the Xterra for the longest time. Actually, I still have it.
Yeah.
I still have it, just like a little 2-inch spot. Just slam that in there.
Yeah, because
posted something, Don.
Huh?
Somebody has posted something in the live stream chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I thought Lido would have something, but I didn't get a chance to go over to HRO. I ended
Lido
up going
probably does, but it might be online because it's probably not radio specific.
Yeah.
It's like a generic solution.
Yeah, that screws into something. That might work because I know Lido also makes a, which I'm using for the FTM 400, a thing that slides into the air conditioning vents.
Oh.
And that's what I'm doing to mount my radios right now or the FTM 400, because there literally is no place in the front that's not a glove compartment or the screen on the GPS takes up a big portion of it. So there's just nothing.
You want a cheeky idea? If you remember those cell phone holders, that like you put them into and it like slaps the clamp on it. What if you just took it and like rotated it 90 degrees and then shoved the head into that?
And yeah, that would work. The big thing I've had with those, at least with my cell phone, is they're so tight. I can hear the cell phone cracking. And I'm like, why do they make it that tight? But I guess, yeah.
I heard, was that Paul?
Yeah, it was me.
Go for it.
I just got this attachment that goes on the vent, and all you do is it's a 2-sided tape with a metal disc that goes on the back of the cell phone.
Oh, the
and then that magnet, and the magnet then there's a magnet on your vent that clips into the vent, and it holds an iPhone, which I'm sure weighs more than the head of that GMRS radio. And you can get them on Amazon. I think it was like $6, $7. It works great.
If you got a link for that, because I hear what you're saying, I don't really see it, because I think what you're saying is
just
like
it's like a 1.5 inch metallic disc that attaches to the back of the phone.
Yeah. Now, see, in this case, that radio has a little plastic ring that goes around it, and then it's inset about 1.5 inches or so into the plastic. So there's this like inch or so ring around the back of that connector there. And what I'll bet that thing is that the bracket that they're showing is that the head clips into a plastic flat piece, like you're thinking that would go on to.
Yeah, the piece that goes into the vent is just
right.
It's a magnet. It's not
right. Magnet. I'm just saying there's no place to put the other part of the magnet on the radio head, because of the way the radio head is not a flush back. It's not flush. It's just a plastic ring around the outside of the radio head that's hollow. It's hard to describe. That's the thing. I mean, Josh couldn't find a picture of the back of the head of the radio.
Yeah, this is called
take a picture of it if you can, Don.
It's out in the car.
Oh, gotcha. Really quick,
Hey,
let me hit this.
And it's dark.
Let me hit this comment really quick from Kowloon Republic. Yes, I am still Hosh Nasi. And once upon a time, I used to do a lot of live streams with a lot of Guntubers, one of them being Never Enough Ammo, and gun websites, Yankee Marshall, a bit of a nutter, that one. But yeah, those guys are great. They're still all making videos and whatnot. I just happen to really dive hard into amateur radio. So I am that guy. I am still that guy. Yes, I am. So, all right. Somebody said, oh, you know what? Who was it? Who was it who was like, hey, hello, everybody. Hey.
Oh, that was me. It was me. K2TLX. How's it going, man? I haven't talked to you in a long time.
What's
I just got
going
a
on,
quick
dude?
question. Who's going to Hamfest, man? I still got pictures from last year. I'm ready to get on my CB radio and worldwide as loud as I can when I get there. You know what I mean? Worldwide.
So Huntsville's coming up third weekend in August. So we're all trucking out there for that.
Awesome. Are we gonna do parking lots on the air? You know what I mean? And
Dude,
for my boy,
it's even better than that. So
what do you mean?
Huntsville Hamfest. Okay. So for those that don't know, by the way, if you're anywhere related close in relation to where you live to Huntsville, there is the whole show happens at the Von Braun Center, right? So it's a Hamfest that's in a completely enclosed space. It's all air conditioned. It's beautiful. It's very comfortable because it's a little humid out there. But after the show, every night after the show, actually I think it starts the whole week before then. There is all these hams that have bought out the campsites and the lodges, the cabins at the Mont Sano campsite. It's basically a mountain that's right in the middle of Huntsville. That mountain is a Summits on the Air location, a Parks on the Air location, and every night it's a party. Every night after the show, we all go up to Mont Sano and just hang out, play ham radio. You can bring your CBs. We're not gonna be mad at you. Don't worry about it. It's so much fun. It's a lot of people hanging out, just having fun together as friends. It's a lot of people activating radio. We all try and activate, the Soda Summit and the park. It's a great time. So if anybody has an opportunity to get down to Huntsville, I highly recommend you do. The Huntsville Hamfest is, from what I've seen, my experience is the friendliest Hamfest you can go to, for sure.
Yeah, I got a picture last year with you and a bunch of the other YouTubers there. I got a PRC 77 it was when I went there. It was really cool walking around and taking pictures and just getting to talk with other hams. But my buddy Bobberson's in here. I wanted to just tell him hello and I miss him very much.
Not me. What's going on?
What?
I'm just trolling, man. Bob's the goofy goober. We met in here a long time ago. He's my Canadian buddy. He's been trying to get his ham license for a long time up there, but it's like it's really the test is quite like a PhD physics whiz quiz. When you take it, they expect for you to be an electrical engineer up in Canada.
I like their testing structure because if you pass it with high numbers, you get access to HF as a first level licensee, which I think is the way we should go here in the States. But yes, straight up, we're coming out. We're having we've already got the pavilions. They're bought. They're paid for. We're going to be hanging out there every night. So join us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I will. I'll make sure to live stream for Bob.
Good. Live stream it. Everybody, come make videos. Like if you are new to YouTube, here's what I'll do. I don't have a ton of time because I usually run around talking to 1,000 people, but we could do a live review of a product. If you have a product and you're like, I don't know really how to shoot this thing and what to do, like I'll show you what I do. If you bring it out there, I'll show you what I do. I'll give you all the tricks. If you come out there, I'll show you how to be a ham radio YouTuber. If you care about that, but hey.
Hey, I got a silly question, Max. Is there a rumor has that we were getting a new band? Is that still confirmed or no?
I have no knowledge of a new band. No. What's kind of funny about that is, wouldn't it be funny if you're like, scientists discover a new electromagnetic frequency? It slipped right in there. We didn't notice it before. It totally jumped right out at us. No, we're not getting any new bands at this point.
Yeah, the rumors of 8 meters are, I mean, they've been rumors for years.
I think we all want 4 meters. Not all of us, but not a lot of
4
the
meters.
like 4.
4 meters in the U.S. are used by military, but 8 meters supposedly is free.
Why can't we push full duty cycle or 1200 watts on a 2200 meter band? That's the ultimate question.
What? Say that again. 22 meter. Say it again. What was the question?
2200 meters. Why are we only limited to 1 watt EIRP?
What? On 20 meters or 60 meters?
2200 meters.
Oh, yeah, 2200. Because of the, from what I understand, it's actually because of the amount of, oh gosh, we had a club meeting about this, and there's something about literally how hot the converters are, or transverters get, that go from our normal bands up to that band, and you actually have to take precautions when you're running the coax out the out your wooden frame house to make sure that the coax doesn't touch the house, because it can get that hot, supposedly.
I like that. Okay, now I want to try 2200 meters.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably really noisy down there, isn't it? An incredibly noisy band.
No, because the propagation is it's like done through the curvature of the earth, or it runs literally along the ground. It doesn't actually go up in the air. It's one of those. It's really the low frequency stuff, like the
I gotcha.
The submarines use.
Oh, okay. Right. So we'd have to have like an ELF station to be able to use it effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. All right.
Although
cool.
the antennas are supposed to be up high in the air, but yeah.
2200 meter rhombic?
Oh my god.
Sure.
Do it, man. Get a cornfield somewhere.
Well, I'm not sure a cornfield would work. You'd probably have to have something equivalent to the half of the United States.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for your quirky question. We appreciate it. Let's see. What do I want to do? I might actually try radio mail and do a little bit of reflection at 1 watt. How much? get some packet WinLink on 1 watt with my little Pico APRS and bounce it. Oh man,
There's
not so many. 2 people talking about Yankee Marshall. Whew, that takes me way back. That guy is he's a nut.
Douche.
And you know what's funny about that? Okay, this is. I just heard that Oregon is getting rid of the gas attendants. So Oregon was a state that you had to. They still had people pump gas for you. You had to have
Oregon and New Jersey.
And
required.
That's right. That's right. Oregon, New Jersey. So Oregon said no more. And I remember. So Yankee and I would argue. We would argue back and forth. And I will, with respect to Yankee, my positions on many things have changed throughout the years. And to know, even though we had aggressive, like loud arguments, I did change some of my opinions thanks to him. So I will say that. But the one thing that I had no respect for was the gas pumpers, the gas attendants, and hearing that they got rid of those, I was like, oh man, I can't. It cracked me up so much, man. Yes, varies by county. That's true. But still, it was when I heard that on the news, I was like, oh, buddy. Anyway, enough of the past. That was like 2012, 13, that kind of stuff. 2014. But anyway, cheers to my Guntubers. Respect you guys. Appreciate what you do out there.
Okay, guys, can I ask a question?
Absolutely, go for it, man. It's you go for it. Can you hear me?
Don't PTT on the phone.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
We can.
Yep.
You got it. I can't hear you now. You're not. So that button, you got to really be accurate with that PTT button, man.
Oh, I'm mashing on it. Believe me.
Well,
Just
mash
Why
isn't
is
the
there so much
solution.
electronic stuff in the actual
Accuracy on that button is important.
I mean,
it's not the
electric
hard.
diagrams and that kind of stuff in the actual exam for the ham test.
Okay, so 1 second. So you don't have to like slam your finger down on it. Pressure is not the solution. It's accuracy, just being right on that button. So let's try it again. I didn't hear your question. Go ahead and repeat it.
Is it working?
I hear you now.
Yeah, there it is.
Now you guys can hear me. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm on that push to talk, and I don't like it to begin with. But I'm doing it for the channel.
You got it. Go for it.
My question is why do you guys have so many electronic diagrams in the test for ham when most of the time I don't even see them on the exam?
Well, I mean, that's the beauty or the challenge of the exam is you don't know the questions that you're going to get when you take the test. The VEs that put the test together, they pull 1 or 2 questions from every sub-element to build the 35 question test. So you may not get schematic questions. That's just the reality of it. They may not pull those. That's the reality of it. The question pool is the question pool. They can pull any questions from those question pools, but they don't have to. Sometimes
and
they do. Sometimes they don't.
As a VE, I have seen the schematic questions come up.
I have taken my extra, and you better believe I got a schematic question. You better believe I did.
Oh, definitely.
That help?
I think on the tech quest,
I understand that. I understand that there is stuff like that on the test. My problem is the fact that I've talked to a few people in Florida that are friends of mine. I've done the test in Florida myself. Most of the time when they pull the question pool, I don't see any diagrams like the actual, diodes and resistors and that kind of stuff. Why has it changed so much up this way?
Yeah, it's just luck of the draw.
Bring it up with the VEs that are pulling the questions in your area. I've gotten a schematic question on every ham radio test that I took, and all 3 of I took every one of my tests in person. I got my extra before COVID, and every one of them had a schematic diagram in there to test on. So bring that up with your VE team. The VE teams they can pull their own test questions.
Yeah, they can, but I mean, we use the software that comes with the exam tools, and it generates the test. So we don't really have much control on which one you get. You're just going to get one of them. And I've seen some with the schematic questions on it, and some without. On the tech one, it seems to me when I've seen general and extra, they're general. At least one will pop up.
Yeah, we got plenty of people in the chat that all got schematic questions. So, I like the way you're talking about it. You sound like you're. I'm not necessarily upset, but you're passionate about it. What's the problem? Are you mad, or because they don't show up enough? You want them to show up more? Is that where you're coming from?
They should have more questions about push to talks.
Yeah, especially the ones that say don't use your phone for Discord, only use a computer, because it's dead easy with that.
You got to do what you got to do, and thank you everybody who still tries to get out here and get on the Discord on your phone. We got to have a PTT. We have to. There's just so many people in here that we have to do that. If we could all have the mic discipline to just have open mics for 50 plus people, then we would. But it seldom works out as well as it sounds. So
Don, I have my phone for PTT, no problem. I understand there's issues, and as far as the schematic thing goes, back in 2002 when I took my technician, I had a schematic then. When I took my general this last November, I had a schematic then. They were easy peasy. So if that's an issue, just memorize the key points of those schematics if you have to.
I think
be
learning the
extra
symbols is the big thing. Once you learn the symbols and what they mean, then it all becomes infinitely
they're all the
easier.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like know what a ground is, know what an LED is. Those are the main things.
Yeah.
If the fuse is blue, it's no good.
All right. I'm gonna try and position this so we can. I may do some. You gonna stand there, bud? You gonna? All right. There's the Pico. We're on APRS right now, so we're gonna get GPS lock. While it does that, I got to run to the restroom, so I'm gonna deafen myself and take all the mics off because I don't want a repeat of me portable trying to use the restroom live again. So hey, I will be right back, guys. Who is ever here for the first time or has a question? Don't worry, we will get to you. Whether you're in text or you are on the Discord, we love the fact you're joining us, so don't worry, we'll get to it. But I got to take a minute here. I jumped right into the after chat, and I should have used the restroom. So I'm going to show you my sweet little baby radio, and I will be right back. You guys keep it going. You guys go ahead, take some questions if you want. I'll be back.
50